Have you heard of the new addition to the Go for Donnie podcast? I haven't either, but it's called Switch to Channel 2. That is where Donnie will get to ask his guests some questions so you, the listener, get to know them better. And remember, hashtag HTFU.
Hey guys, welcome to Switch to Channel 2. We have Aaron Fitzgerald here today, where we're going to ask Aaron 5 random questions that you, the listeners, Aaron's audience wants to know and hear more about. So, Aaron, please let us know, how did you get started into this industry?
I started flying helicopters when I got out of the Army. I didn't fly when I was in. I was a paratrooper. So I came out to LA when I finished my contract and did some flight training and got right into flying helicopters. And my first job, my first real job flying helicopters was flying a news helicopter. And I kind of got interested in the camera systems that they use more so than anything else. So I really started to kind of gravitate towards the application of the helicopter as a tool to the creative side of production and camera work. And the news job kind of gave way to sports shooting. I used to shoot from the blimp and from airplanes and helicopters and fly helicopters over major sporting events like, NFL football, Major League Baseball, all the majors, all the racing, off-road Baja and all that. And then that led into more entertainment stuff. And then finally into what I'm doing now, which is pretty much 100% aerial production. So we're working on episodic TV now and feature films and everything else. But that was the progression. So I found accidentally that I really love aerial cinematography. So that's just kind of the path my career took.
I'm so such a fanboy right now because I always wanted to be a pilot. That's what I always wanted to do, and then I wanted to do that when I got out of the Army. And I didn't, and I kicked myself still. And I know it was something like $30,000 for what, the first 2 or 3 licenses you have to get before you can even get paid.
Yeah, it might even be more than that. It's I don't even remember what I spent because I didn't have it at the time. I just worked my way through it. I was working 3 jobs at a time or whatever it took just to kind of plow through the training. And then I was really fortunate that I was in a good position both geographically in Los Angeles and then also at a time in the economy where it was not easy to find a job, but not as difficult as it is today. And then I was just willing to work harder too. So I took a job that wasn't necessarily attractive to experienced pilots because I had just gotten out of the Army and I was used to the suck.
So yeah, right? Yeah, embrace it, man.
That job didn't scare me. I jumped right in there. I was like, if this is my shortcut, I'm doing it. And I did. So it worked out for me. But yeah, the cost is a huge barrier to entry in aviation. And people ask me today, how do you do it? Where do I start? And I don't really have a clear answer because I don't remember exactly how I did it. But clearly I made it work, and anybody else can too if they want to.
Wow, good on you, man. That's so cool to hear. I mean, because it's not easy. It's not easy to even get started, to finish, to get your license, and then to get to the level that you're at. I mean, you're elite, and that's really,
you have to have some passion for it because then you don't notice the hard work.
Yeah.
If you're just kind of half committed, like, oh, that's a cool job, let me try it. It's not for you. There's just too much work and too much sacrifice that you have to make. But for me, it's all I wanted to do, and I was so enthusiastic about making it happen that I really didn't see those barriers and those obstacles, and I didn't notice that I was working harder than anybody else because I wanted it so badly.
That's so awesome. Do you ever get to fly any military helicopters? Like any?
I have, yeah. I fly Blackhawks now, which is ironic because I didn't fly Blackhawks when I was in the Army, but I fly them now. We use them for production, and then during COVID, when production was slow, I ended up doing some firefighting for a couple of seasons. So I was working on Forest Service contract in a Blackhawk fighting fire.
Dude, so that is so cool.
Yeah, and I've flown different variants. The helicopter behind me is a German Army helicopter. This one was never in the German Army, but it was designed for the German Army. So I've flown a lot of helicopters that have military applications and models that are also used in the military. But the only actual military ships I've flown are the Blackhawks.
I guess my question was leading to: did you ever want to go back and get back into the Army to fly in the Army or the military?
It sounds like fun. I would love to go back and get a crack at the Apache or something like that, but that's not something you can just decide to do and go make happen. Those are top level guys that get those slots, and it'd be arrogant to say, oh, someday I might go back and fly those. It's a process. It would be fun. I would love it. It would be a dream to fly an Apache or
I bet.
Geez, what else is there that would be great? I already fly the Hawk. I love that. The Chinook looks like a lot of fun. I've never flown one of those.
That'd be such a trip to fly that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that's a lot of machine behind you, right?
Or one of those big gunships, those big freaking gunships. Oh man, that's just crazy. I can't imagine even flying one of those.
I've gotten to fly a Blackhawk with miniguns on it before, with them blazing away, but of course it was blanks because we were doing it for a movie. But it's just as fun, I think, or even more fun to pretend because nobody's shooting back at you.
Hell yeah, you don't have to dodge. Dodge left. Is that what are the 4 dodges of dodgeball? The 5 dodges: dodge, duck, dive, and dodge.
If you can dodge this wrench.
Hey, speaking of wrenches, what's your take on all these UAPs, UFOs, freaking drones, and everything that's flying around? You got any take on that shit? Because sometimes I go down the rabbit hole, Aaron, and I'm like, what the hell is happening?
Well, I don't want to talk too out of turn, but I was just in New York. We were working out on Long Island, and we were talking to our location guy who set everything up. And he had been talking to one of his guys in the alphabet agencies that said they were looking for something very specific. So they had a lot of drones up. He didn't say exactly what he was looking for.
That's
but
what I thought too. That's what I thought.
Very specific item that had gone missing, and they were trying to find it as quickly as they could because it posed a great threat to everybody. So. They didn't put that out publicly, and that may not be the real story, but that's what I heard on this. So that's kind of what I think is going on.
That's what I heard about the drones, but what about the fucking orbs?
The what?
The orbs. All the orbs they keep seeing. Yeah.
Oh.
The plasmoid.
That must have been...
The plasmoid orbs they keep seeing. Oh man, yeah.
I don't know about that.
The round plasmoids that they keep seeing around.
I've been traveling a lot, so I must have missed that whole thread. I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's nuts. But I'm tracking what you're saying because I think that's what I've read and heard as well. So hopefully
I don't know that to be fact, but that's what I heard.
Yeah. Until they start coming out of the ground, or through the toilets. So, dude, seriously, we were talking about what you can fly. What can't you fly? I've seen, like I said, I track your Instagram and your Facebook, and it seems like you can fly just about anything. I mean, is there anything you can't fly or haven't flown that you want to fly?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff I haven't flown that I would love to fly, and there's stuff I can't fly. I don't fly any jets, any type of jet, like the Gulfstreams or fighter jets or anything like that. I do fly airplanes in addition to helicopters. I made my career flying helicopters, and that's my foundation. That's what I do. But I've been lucky that I've been able to fly airplanes for fun. I have an old Warbird adjacent. It's a trainer. I have a Stearman. If you know your airplanes, mine was built in 1937, and it spent the war years in World War II. My plane was actually based at Oxnard, California, which is where it's based right now. I didn't know that when I bought it, and then I pulled the records. I had a friend of mine who's an aircraft historian, found the records for my airplane from that serial number, and found out that it was based in Oxnard during the war.
That's pretty rad.
So for me, it was super cool to find that out. So it's fun. I'm teaching I'm not teaching. My teenagers both fly. One's a 20-year-old. I have an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old, 2 sons that fly. And they both fly that Stearman. So for me, watching them take off, and it's so cool, knowing that, that same plane taught kids that same age how to fly all the way dating back to World War II.
Now, is that one of those older planes where you can work on the engine yourself and the hydraulics, everything, instead of like...
Yes, you can. I do a little bit, but I'm not a mechanic, and I'm not that guy. But I jump in there and help. We just recently changed all my spark plugs and cleaned them, and just basic stuff I can do. And those planes are really simple too. The engine, there's no cowlings or anything. The jugs, the cylinders are all exposed. It's got 9 cylinders that are out in the air. It's easy to work on if you know what you're doing. I don't, but I help the people that do.
It's good to have a little bit of knowledge. I mean, like I said, when I drove trains, and they're always like, you should know some things about it. I'm like, I don't know anything about this diesel electric engine. I mean, you hit this tone 5 on the keypad, and that gets your Fort Worth mechanic to try to troubleshoot. But I'm like, I don't know what the frick I'm going to do. I'm not going to try. I'm not going to pretend like I try.
Don't build them. I just drive them.
We don't. Cousins don't shake. They hug. Something like that.
I know these pretty well now. This one behind me, I've been flying this thing quite a bit for the last 8 or 9 years, and I've accidentally learned a whole bunch about it. So I'm pretty familiar with it. I don't think I could build one, but I can do a little bit of work on it, and I can definitely troubleshoot while I'm flying it.
Oh my God, troubleshooting while you're flying. I couldn't imagine. Like, I mean, talk about what first depends on to make sure that when you shit your pants, you have something to catch it. Man, methodical, like calm heartbeat, like your breathing technique.
You have to be when you're flying. You can't, you don't have the luxury of being able to get all excited and letting adrenaline take over. You have to methodically work through either a checklist or work through, your progression of how to identify and solve a problem because there's nobody else to help you. So you just gotta work through it.
Sounds like an infantryman way. You just keep moving forward, man. There's no turning back. Keep moving forward, straight ahead. So please tell me about flying at F1 at the tracks. I saw you.
Oh my goodness, that's a ton of fun.
Holy shit! Yeah. Holy shit!
I'm a huge Formula One fan, so it was really exciting for me to be able to do it. And the only two races I've flown are Miami and Austin. And both of those are tracks where there's a lot of room around the track where you're able to get down pretty low and really chase the cars around. And the aerial DP for that is a guy named Lieven Herman. He's Belgian. And he's a super nice guy, really cool and very, very talented. But he shoots every race. For years, he shot every single race, travels all over the world. So he's got a real method for how to cover each lap. And so what he'll do is there's a formula for it. He'll set up moves previous to the race and show you, okay, this is turn 17, this is going to be this move, we're going to do this, and we're going to come down and we're going to meet the car here and then pick it up and take it through the lap. Or he'll have you just do continuous laps. But the cars are faster than the helicopters, so you can't just fly around in an orbit outside the track. There's spots where you cut across and cut them off and shorten the lap so that we can stay with one car through the lap. So it's a tremendous challenge. It's a ton of work. You're really, really working hard up there. And it's all you got, and it's all the helicopters got to stay up with the actions. It makes it so much fun. And you're down low, and then you look out your window, and you're like, "That's Max right there." Looking
so
right at Max.
Freaking cool, dude. That's so cool.
You can hear the cars too over the helicopter. You have the helicopter, you have noise canceling headset and all that, and you can still hear them going through the gears when they come out of turn. It's pretty cool.
That's so rad. So who were you flying for that? Is that like Sky Sports or contracted to get aerial shots?
Indirectly, Sky Sports, yeah, but it's the worldwide feed. So I think Sky Sports is the one who actually produces it, and then they put that out for everybody. So I was, as far as I know, I was working for Lieven's, but he's probably contracted directly to F1. I'm not sure the progression there. That my company doesn't do that one. It was just me working as a pilot. So I was working with my ex-brand partners and with Savage Aviation and working for Lieven. And it was just a ton of fun. For a race fan, it's really excigear. Best seat in the house.
I hope you get more. I've turned into such a race fan. It started with NASCAR. We went, Top Gear took us a few NASCAR tracks, and you're like, wow, this is electrifying. And then,
that's fun too. I've shot some NASCAR. Flown over NASCAR before. It's a ton of fun too.
It is. I mean, I don't know. I just think, I think you'll agree that F1 is just a different thing altogether. And you're on a different fucking level than anyone else getting to fly and get those amazing aerial shots and be so close, and to hear that is so cool, Aaron. I mean, I've become such a F1 fan over the last, I don't know.
I love it. Years. I love F1. I love NASCAR for what it is, all the lead changes and all the contact and everything. And it's just so gritty and American, and there's parts hanging off the cars at the end of the race. All the cars are all banged up.
That's racing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. Boogity, boogity, boogity. But I love Formula One for what it is too. I mean, those machines are just incredible. And you've probably gotten an opportunity to drive a Formula car of some sort over the years, right? You know how hard it is to drive it at the level they drive. Every guy on earth thinks they can get in a race car and go fast. But you find out really quickly how hard it actually is.
Yeah,
I've gotten to drive at some of the schools, the low level Formula cars, and it is like drinking from a fire hose. It happens so fast, and there's so much going on. So to see those guys do it at that level is just mind-boggling.
Your reaction skills, you have to just be so quick. You can't blink, and you can't half-ass it. You have to go full out, because those cars perform, as Martin Brundle would say, full beans. So you got to go full beans to make sure it's performing right. And if you don't, that's when you slide off the track. And I don't know.
If you lift the throttle, it changes the center of gravity of the car, and then all of a sudden you become unstuck. So in my, like I said, like super low level cars, like the Lucas Oil cars, which are awesome, but they're nothing like a real Formula One car. But sitting in a Formula car, I'm coming around. I was at Laguna Seca at the Skip Barber School, right?
Damn.
So I'm coming around. There's a left-hand sweeper. I can't remember what turn number it is, right? And I got the thing, what I think is on the limit, right? And I'm getting fast, and I think I'm good. And then all of a sudden, the car's just unstuck, and I'm smoking on the tires and off into the gravel. And they came on the radio, and they're like, "Aaron, what'd you do wrong?" I'm like, "I don't have any idea." And they said, "You lifted about a millimeter, and that was enough to." So, to what you were saying, you have to be committed. You have to have your foot all the way in it, or the car's designed to go full speed. You have to have all the throttle to keep the CG where you want it. And if you lift, you're going in the gravel. Or if you brake too late there's so many ways to screw it up. So it's amazing to watch them do it the way they do it.
Don't break in the corner. You break in the corner, you're going to slide right off. It is amazing. It's really impressive. And how old these young drivers are, I mean, freaking hell, 18, 19.
There's 2 18-year-olds on the grid this year for 2025.
Yeah. Yeah. That's insane. I mean, to be 18, to have the balls to do that. I didn't have the balls at 18. I had the balls to join the Army. That was nothing. I mean,
hey, me too.
To jump in.
But you don't need superhuman hand-eye coordination to be in the Army.
No.
To drive a Formula 1 car.
Nope. You just got to say yes, drill sergeant. Don't say yes, buddy, or yes, y'all, or anything like that. I once said that. I said, I want to say you guys. He's like, you guys. He's like, we friends now? I'm like, no, drill sergeant. Just never forget that shit. But yeah, no, I live for F1. My wife is into F1 now. She just told me it's 10 weeks to lights out. I was like, oh my God, I love you. Yeah.
You know what that is, though? That's Netflix, because now people that weren't Formula One fans before, they are. So America is a huge market for Formula One now, where it wasn't, just a few years ago. So that series made a huge difference. My wife is a Formula One fan now too. Knows all the drivers.
See,
has a crush on half of them.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's great. Now she wants to get up and watch races with me. I'll wait. I mean, it's a lot of fun. And you're right, Liberty Marketing. They did it right, and they partnered with Netflix and Drive to Survive and Box to Box Films is just amazing what they've done.
That show is so well done. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they're layering on a little bit of drama, it's still cool. Like I've been watching Formula One for a long time, over 20 years, and I watch every episode of that, and I'm completely absorbed in it. It's so great.
So don't you think that they don't need to layer any fucking drama at all? All they have to do is just report exactly what has happened, like from the last race to the off season, like. It's so crazy.
For you and I, yes, that's all we want. But they expanded that audience by layering in some of the human drama and getting into the heads of the drivers and the teams and stuff. And that's what the casual fans want. So they created a whole nother layer of fans, of marketplace around Formula One. So kudos to them for that.
It's fucking worked, man. I like it. I'd love to work for them sometime. Hey, tell me one thing that myself and the audience don't know about you.
Well, let's see. We talked about I'm a hockey player. How about that?
Okay.
Hockey my whole life.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You still play?
Not as much as I used to. No.
Yeah.
No. I played every day for a long time, since I was maybe 3 or 4 up until just a couple of years ago. I'm a little too busy and travel too much now, but I played hockey my whole life.
Oh, that's rad. I was an avid soccer player. I played on men's teams. Competitive up until the pandemic, and then the pandemic just shut it down. Then since the pandemic, I just haven't really gone out and knocked the ball around, but I kind of miss it.
That derailed a lot of things. Yeah, maybe I need to get on the ice today. That's what Right now we're on fire watch here in Southern California. The wind's blowing 1,000,000 miles an hour, and there was a really horrible fire last night. It's actually still burning right now. So we were all loaded up for evacuation all night. So after that all calms down, maybe I'll get back.
Oh, so you guys would have to take everything and get out of there?
We had no evacuation order for my neighborhood last night. We were pretty close to where that was, but we weren't in any immediate danger. But when the wind's blowing as hard as it was, anything that kicks off anywhere, you got to be ready to go.
I know, it's popping off.
I had everything packed up, family all ready to go, but we were fortunate for us. We didn't have to go, and we didn't have any damage to our house. So everybody's safe and house is not damaged.
Good. Well, let's hope they keep it that way. Hey,
not everybody was so fortunate.
I know. It's so sad, dude. It's like I don't know. It's really rough. I mean, here I am inside my little studio that I have it all shut down and the windows, and before we did this, I opened up and looked outside again. It's just so ominous and dark, and I hate turning on the news because then you see all this shit and you're just like, but you have to. So it really sucks. But anyways, besides that, just tell me before we get back to our respected channels, because they're always calling me to get back from Channel 2. What is next for you, for Aaron?
Let's see. We got a whole season of air shows coming up for Red Bull, so that'll be fun. I have a big feature that I'm doing in February, so I'll have some international travel for that. Signed an NDA, so I can't tell you really anything
Gotta
about
love
it
it.
yet.
Gotta love it. Yeah.
It'll involve some cool flying. Then I've got some other production stuff cooking that's going to slot into various dates. So I'm excited for the coming year. We have a lot on the schedule, just enough to keep me busy, but not enough to stress me out. So I'm feeling very fortunate. And then I got an 18-year-old who's about to graduate from high school. So
Wow.
we're going to get him all launched in the fall. We don't know where he's going to go to school yet or what he's going to pursue, but that's an exciting time.
Congrats.
I'll be an empty nest.
So it's actually, you're actually kicking him out of the nest, like pushing him out with this parachute, like literally.
Yeah. And he's a licensed skydiver, as you know. So that's not a big deal for him to jump out of the nest.
So he doesn't have a problem with it. He's going to do fine. Yeah. We're sure.
No, he's good. Both he and his brother went up last summer to Shelton. Kapowson Air Sports is the name of the company. But Shelton, Washington, which you know, is where they went up and trained with the famous Luke Akins and his cousin Andy Farrington, and now they're both licensed skydivers, both of my sons.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, we were up there. I'll have a couple people on the show later on. We were, I guess I can't say the name of the show up there. We were filming. I was filming something up there. These NDAs, man, we're all under NDAs. It's like one big freaking NDA.
I don't want to be the guy that blabs, but there's so much cool stuff to talk about. You want to let it out, and you can't.
You know, it's like one of those conversations where you're so generic, you're talking about nothing at all, but you're talking about some substance. It's like you're just talking about cans, or I don't know. So stupid. Well, hey, we better get back to our channel. I can't thank you enough, Aaron, for coming on, man. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy for all the success that you've had, and just watching what a badass pilot you have become, you know. So it's really cool. Thanks for coming on, you guys. Don't forget to check us out, gofordonnie.com. Our YouTube channel at gofordonnie.com, and all my social media channels, there's gofordonnie.com. So it's pretty easy to figure out. Oh, sorry, at gofordonnie. So, but I'll throw everything up about Aaron so you guys can contact Aaron if you ever need an aerial pilot to come and kick some ass in the air for you. Aaron's got it. Thanks, Aaron. I can't appreciate it enough, man.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Cheers, man.
Production for Donnie.
Go for Donnie. Locations for Donnie. Go for Donnie.
Habitat for Donnie.
Go for Donnie. Hey Donnie, what the hell are they doing?